is a lot of people are quite curious how to be a Buddhist. Is that really difficult? Can I eat meat? Can I drink alcohol? There's a lot of questions that I used to have too. So I'm trying to see if I can answer yours. Then, or if you have any questions, you can also ask me anytime too. I'm very happy to reply to you. So let's share screen. I make a beautiful um presentation. That's us. Yeah. Tea question and Buddhism. And I spell it wrong. All right. So the first thing, as you may already know, being a Buddhist, you need to go to the temple and you need to follow the five precepts. And that's including, you can see on the picture, non-killing, non-stealing, no sexual misconduct, no foul speech, and no toxicants. It's slightly different version, but the idea is like this. So why we need to follow those precepts? The reason is, first of all, I want to tell you it's not restrictions. It's a guideline that you can follow. You don't have to be like, oh, if I have a drop of alcohol, is that a big deal? We're gonna go to hell. It's not like that. It's more like guideline to avoid you do something really harmful for you. It's a protection for you. Second thing is also protect yourself. As a Buddhism, we very emphasize of three things, three part, how you create your karma in a daily life. It's your body, your speech, and your mind, three things. So for example, like non-killing, your body is not killing, right? Also your mind, but no stealing, and then no foul speech is already kind of like stopping you to create further no good karma, right? And it's also kind of like a teacher. There's a lot of things in our life you want to do it, but you don't need to do it. For example, like the sexual things, right? I want to have sex with that person, but do I really need to? Or do I just want to? So with that guideline, you will have the answer. It's kind of like a teacher next to you telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And the last thing is it's a foundation of learning and practicing Buddhism because this is the basic. It's very normal. So later I will explain to you one by one what you can do, what you cannot do. But before we start, I want you to understand one thing is it's more about how you feel when you're doing all the things. For example, like I saw a monk before that he was drinking alcohol, but he's very famous. Maybe for him, alcohol doesn't do anything or will not lead him to do any harmful behavior, right? So for him, it's okay to have alcohol, but does that mean that for everybody or even for me, it may not be the same case. So how can I identify? I think it's the most important thing is how you feel when you do it. I will apply this principle more when I speak about all the precepts one by one. But the idea is like this, yeah, we have to follow, but also the very important thing is how you think, how you feel when you do it. All right, so let's start it. As a Buddha, there's a lot of interesting question people will ask you. Like I want to share with you tonight. It's actually quite funny. They will ask for a lot of things like let me stop the sharing screen first. They will ask about this is one really interesting question someone asked me before. He say, when you farm, the food for vegetarian food, right? Let's say you make tofu. That's you need to have so big land, and when you are doing all the farming, then you will in the dirt. There's a lot of insects, so you kill a lot of lives when you're making planting vegetarian food for the vegetarian. So maybe by eating meat, you actually save more lives than you meat plant, right? That's the question. There's some people saying that. Mm, First, back to that is the intention, right? When you eat meat, your intention, or when you eat plant, your intention is not to kill any animals. So that was your intention to start with, right? And second thing is, different lives is actually not equal. It's not like one ant is the same as one human. It's really not like that. It's not like number to numbers. Like non-kill, we have some different levels in Buddhism. Like the first thing first, you cannot kill your parents. This is like, whoa, things that you can't reverse. You can't kill Buddhists or hurt Buddhists. You cannot kill someone that important. This is so many things. It's not like, oh, I kill someone and you kill someone. It's not equal. So everything is also depends on, of course, some you kill a person is really no excuse, right? But let's say if I sit on the chair, there's an ant on it. It's oh, am I gonna go to the hell? I was like, of course not, because you have no intention. You don't want to kill the ant that you sit on. But if you see the ant and you say, oh, I really want to kill the ant, and then you say, oh, I'm gonna sit on it, and then, oh, the ant is dead. Same action, totally different outcome. Intention is like law of attraction too. What you thinking when you're doing that, that makes so much different. All right. The concept for non-killing is first thing I just say that you don't kill, right? Most of the time, intentionally. And can Buddhists eat meat? Yes. So to say that you can eat that we call threefold pure meat. What that means is that it's not killing for you. You didn't hear the killing and you didn't see the killing. Of course, you cannot kill, but when the meat is served in front of you, can you eat the meat? Because in Buddhist, when they go asking for food, when they doing their alms, collecting alms with their bowl, people give them meat too, so they can choose. No matter what they get from the people, they eat. So there can be meat too. So Buddha eats meat too. But what's the difference? So that's the guideline. So is that it's threefold pure meat, like you didn't hear that kill, you didn't see that animal get killed, and that didn't kill for you. That's the meat that you can eat. For example, I go back to Hong Kong, my dad would be like, he knows that I'm not eating meat, but he's like, oh, I want to buy a fish and kill that for you. So tonight, you and Matilda, my daughter, you guys can eat. So he gonna buy a living fish, kill the fish, steam it, and serve it on the table for you. This kind of meat, as a Buddhist, you shouldn't eat because it's killed for you. If you hear the kill or you see the kill, you can't eat. For me, I try not to. I sometimes will eat meat too. If my daughter left some meat, I'll eat meat too. I don't feel again for me it's the attention. So another interesting question a lot of people ask is like, can I kill insect? Like, I'm a Buddhist, but I'm so many insect in my room, in my house. What I gonna do? Of course, you need to clean your environment. So in this case, the mom will say you talk to the insect, you give them some times and saying that I'm gonna clean up the environment. I give you some time. Please leave here. Otherwise, I will have to do and remove you guys. And of course, no, you're not gonna like eat on your bed and create a lot of dirty environment, animals everywhere, ants everywhere, then you kill them. It's not no good. It's not like this. It's you're trying to keep the house as clean as possible. But if they come to you, you can do this too. So non-killing is the intention. So you do not want to hurt the animals. Second thing is non-stealing. This is actually quite simple, but it's a lot of misconcept here. So you don't steal things, of course, and also you don't steal people concept. Like you don't use copy software, right? Or you don't steal people idea. It's not only like you steal something physical, it's also mental and a lot of things. Third, let me share the screen again so you guys can be more clear. Uh, Sexual misconduct. This one is interesting. So used to be you can only have sexual behavior with your spouse, but now we say that you can have sex even you don't get married, but you're supposed to have a long-term relationship. So you commit to each other. And the reason is actually quite easy to understand because by doing so, you avoid lots of problems, right? You don't have complicated relationship, you don't get pregnant by someone that's not ready. You don't have sexual disease. Yeah, there's a lot. This makes a lot of sense. It's a very smart thing to do to protect you, right? But also people ask me, they're like, can I watch porn? I was like, I think it's some kind of like yes or no. It's again back to the your intention too. If watching those things making you more horny and clouded your mind and didn't give you a clearness, it didn't make you how to say, didn't make you smarter or thinking more clear, then you shouldn't do it. Right? Again, it's no yes or no answer. It just depends on how that apply for you. But if that makes you even more horny every day, then maybe not. If that by the end really calm you down and you're not asking that more and more, maybe that's good for you. So I can't answer for you. It's all about how your mind feels when you're doing it. All right. The fourth thing is non-false speech. You don't lie, right? And then you don't gossip. This is very smart things to do and very difficult to do in your life. You can kind of tell a little bit white lies, but it's always a little bit skillful to do so. You don't lie, but you don't hurt people feelings. So this is important. You don't make people feel angry. You don't make other people more angry too with your speech. So your speech should be beautiful and that can be harsh if it's needed to, but most of the time you don't do it. So you don't make people angry. Um, it's like I think the most difficult when you're working, right? So it's should I say what I want to say? There's a lot of skill that we can say what authentic from your heart and without upsetting other people is something that we can learn too. And I would love to discuss, but today is only me, so I don't have much example here as. But I'm sure that you can think of a lot of example in your life, especially when you're working or if you're a group of girls that one girl is talking about all the gossip and you want to be part of it, but should you do that or shouldn't you do that? Right? This kind of situation. The last thing is the very interesting one. So non-intoxicants. For me, I wasn't dare to be a Buddhist for like almost 2 years. I delayed my journey for 2 years because I wasn't able to stop drinking at that time. I love drinking every day at night, at least one glass of beer or something when cooking. It's just like can I just how can I be a Buddhist if I drink alcohol? So that stopped me. But I'm gonna tell you that if you really want to, you can at least follow the first four. And some of the monks say you can don't commit with the fifth and just try to follow the first fourth. Or even though you commit to everything, and by the end you can't, you still smoke your cigarette, you take, you take some alcohols and things. It's okay as long as you tell yourself like, I have the intention to don't do it in the future. It's okay. It's not gonna make you to the hell. Um, so what is the definition for that? Alcohol, cigarette, weed, any kind of drugs that make you mind not there. Anything clouds your awareness. So we can call that intoxicants. And I think of another very interesting daily life now is the addiction for phones or devices because I have that myself too. Does that consider addictions? I think so. I think it's like anything that cloud your awareness, making you not live in this moment or don't give you enough awareness to deal with your life. I think that's something that you should you should avoid or try not to. It's so difficult, right? I'm pretty addicted to my phone too. But let's say now I'm trying to, when I get up the first 2 hours, I try not to touch my phone. And before I sleep, 30 minutes, I try not to do anything. I switch off my phone 30 minutes before I go to sleep. So those things is trying to decrease. Anyway, so I think if you consider to be a Buddhist, but you don't want to observe the precepts or you hesitate, so I will recommend that you still try it. And it's amazing because like me, I will never believe that I can quit alcohol completely. But once I make the vow, I say, please help me to get rid of that. After 1 year, I stopped. And now I don't have the crave. I don't crave drinking. I can drink. I sometimes I drink. I was just drinking one wine 2 nights ago. But the difference is you don't crave for it. It is pretty powerful when your mind you plant the seed in your mind. You promise that 5 precepts, even though today you can't do it, you plant the seed here. And if you bow to Buddha, say, please help me. I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to take drugs anymore, no matter what that is. By the end, you will step by step get to where you want. And the freedom that you do not have to have something is priceless. It's like I don't have to smoke. I don't need to go somewhere and smoke, right? I don't have to drink alcohol. That freedom is worth everything. All right. So this we change to tonight. I think that I was pretty greedy in the beginning when I sent out the email and saying I want to talk about four things. But when I'm trying to organize all the things I prepare for the Zoom, I realized that it's impossible. So tonight I'm just gonna talk about five precepts that which we just did and the root of suffering. This is such a big subject. I brought it out because someone asked me, so what's the root of suffering? And it's such an important concept for Buddhism, and it's also very complicated. First of all, for me, again, I didn't say that in the beginning. I'm not a teacher, right? As I already say in the email, I'm just creating a space for you guys to discuss and to reflect, to think about. My answer is not standard. I can be wrong too. I'm just a student. I'm learning. So I'm just sharing what I think it is. And you're very welcome to leave me any comments or talk to me and say, hey, I don't agree with you. It's not like that. It's totally fine. Tell me what you want. We can discuss. I may be wrong, so don't be like, ooh, she doesn't know what she's talking. No, it's not like that. Okay, tell me what you think. We can talk about it. Um, all right, so first of all, what is suffering? When the first time I talk about Buddhism suffering, I always say, why they're so upset? It's all about suffering. Life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Why they say life is only about suffering? Like I was young. Like I didn't really taste the life. It's actually quite bitter sometimes. But suffering doesn't have to be mean that you're depressed every day or like, oh, life is so tough. It's not always like that. Suffering can be, you can have a lot of fun every day and you're still suffering, but you do not know. In Chinese, we call that 以苦为乐. So you think about the suffering, but you think this is the happiness. For example, like your purpose to make you truly happy, the purpose is to be successful that truly make you happy. I don't know, I just said an example. But then you don't know, you get pregnant and you become a housewife and you never do that, let's say. Then you're not fulfilling your true purpose, right? Um, Something like that. Or how can I say? Okay, okay. Um, your whole life, you love someone else more than yourself, right? You worry about your kid, you worry about your husband, you worry about your friend, your parents, everywhere, everyone around you, but you never really love yourself. You don't really know what self-love is. So by caring your kid, you have the happiness sometimes, right? So when they're nice to you, you're happy. When sometimes you're happy. But most of the time, maybe you're not, or your emotion is so up and down because your happiness is depends on someone else. So doesn't mean that you don't have the happiness. It's just that happiness is not stable. It's not gonna be there for you. That can be suffering too. So everything is not making you understand the reality for Buddhism, which is everything is conditional. Everything is not forever. It's not if anything that doesn't make you understand that, then you're suffering. So that's the idea of it. Let's say if you're so happy every day, but you don't know that one day everything is gonna be just like that, then you're suffering too. Or like me, when I was young, I was like go partying every night. I was so happy, having fun, drinking, entertaining. Entertaining is happy, but it can be also suffering because that's making you away from the truth, from wisdom. That can be suffering too. Um, Suffering means ignorance for me. It's like as long as you still have the ignorance and you don't really know what is the truth, then you're suffering. Uh, so it's not suffering is not has to be like "Ooh," like this. All right. So what make you suffering? Like this picture. So three things: the greed, the hatred, and the ignorance. Um, and the ignorance is the cost of everything, right? So this is the king. This is like the monster that we have to in the computer game by the last level. Like, oh, we have to carry all the ignorance and the greed and the hatred is the big brother next to it, kind of like that. So greed is kind of like you think what you like or you need or you cannot lose, right? You want to get more money. If I don't have enough money, I can't be happy. Oh, I need this. I need a new car. I need people to respect me. I need this and that. Or I can't lose control. Everything has to be under. I can't lost. This is actually quite is the greed. And hatred mean that it's more like it's not only angry, it's like you have such a concept that the things has to be that way, the things that has to be that way, and if it's not, then you get upset. There's more like the hatred, like, oh, you do this, you hurt me, or oh, you saying this, you disrespect me, or you doing this, you disturb me. So it's all about me, how you do to me. It's not the way that I expected you to do it. So it's very much like you have a right or wrong duality thinking, so that create hatred. And what create those things is ignorance. What really means ignorance? Who mean? Ignorance mean that you do not know that everything is conditional. You think you last forever or things can last forever and things is real. Then it's a ignorance. Maybe like I'm the world, I'm the center of the world, and this is the ignorance. I want to um it's a very complicated concept. Uh let's say last time I talked about when I go meditation, right? So I have this spot. So when I get everything focused in between my nose and my lips, this they call filtrum, something like that. When you focus on here, and then all your focus is here, you so concentrate in there. And then I kind of disconnected with my senses. I cannot really taste my food, right? And that time I realized that I'm not my body. So ignorance is you didn't know that you're not your body and you didn't know that you're not your mind. You think that you are your body. You think that you are your senses. You think that the mind talking or the wandering thoughts is you. You didn't know that you're just consciousness, if that's the term. I don't really know is that the term to use, but let's say you are the consciousness, you're the awareness, and you're in this vehicle, your body, right? That. example, like you're driving a car. So you sit in the car, you step on the gas, the car goes, right? But you are not the car. So if the car get upset or the car get heat up or the car get old, broken, you can just go and change another car the next life. Um, but we don't know that. We didn't know that because we are so connected to our senses. Like a lot of people have eating disorder, they overeating because they didn't know that the senses is not you. And back to the meditation example I ran through is that I realized that I'm not the taste. So the taste, when I get so focused, the taste is on my tongue. So I have to think, oh, I have to taste the taste. So I realized that I have a distance here. So all the taste store in your lips and it's not go straight to your mind. Then you realize, hey, there's a distance there. So I'm not my body. I'm not my senses. I'm just a consciousness to taste everything. Once you understand that, whoa, there's a lot of things that suddenly doesn't mean that much to you. Um, for example, like then you realize that eating is not really that important anymore. I used to be like eating is like one of the first priority. Now it's not because it's your body tasting, but you're not the senses anymore. You realize that you're not your body. It's just one example. It's what like the ignorance. Like I say you one more example. Sometimes you think you are your emotion, right? When you get upset, you say, I'm so upset. But it's not. You are not upset. You're the consciousness. You feel the emotion, but you are not anger. But sometimes you think, ooh, I'm an angry person. You're not an angry person. You feel the anger. All right. Um, One example is I used to fight with people. I remember one time was fighting with someone and I was so angry with one time I was starting to my mouth keep talking, starting to get all the awful words, the things that I should never say is flowing from my mouth. And I saw that my mind is here, somewhere else. I disconnected with my body. My mouth is talking all the poison and I can't stop it. And I was like looking at someone else playing for me in my body, like all the awful talk. And I was just looking. I was so angry. I can't control anything that from my mouth. So the emotion took me over. My consciousness is somewhere else, and I was watching my body, or I don't know what that is, to talk about all the things that I regret even today. Um, that time you realize that you actually are not your emotion. So sometimes emotion took over. The vehicle took over when you're sleeping or when you know. Then for meditate is create a distance. Is create that distance that you know that you are not the emotion. Right. Okay, so how can we get rid of the ignorance? Like I say, you need to practice non-self, no self. When you know that you don't have you are not there forever, you are not forever there. You're just the conditional. When the condition here, you're here. when tomorrow one accident you're gone, right? Um, we are here just because conditional things. You don't have a forever soul here. For Buddhism, we don't have a soul. We don't have a soul that constantly coming back as Yamalam. No, you keep on going, but it's not the same you. It's like the typical example. You have the candles here, right? And then you about to pass the light to another candles. You pass it, right? It's the same resources, but once you get into another body or another then this light up with another body. It's the same resources, but this light is not exactly the same light from here. Right? And then you pass it, pass it, pass it. It's from here, but everything change. It's the same resources, but every candle is different. So you cannot say, is this one constantly coming back? It's not. It's just this is the resources. And then we constantly pass into a different body or, different vehicle. So it's not like the same soul coming back again and again and again. It's just the same resources. It's a very complicated concept. Just like I say, Buddhism is you need to spend a long time to absorb all the concept, but suddenly one day, boom, you will suddenly like, ooh, it's that part a little bit part of Buddhism I understand and I can apply that in my daily life. Whoa, that become yours. That's become your wisdom. But it doesn't come that quick. It's something that you need to spend more time in. Like I'm talking about this, probably maybe you don't understand because I'm talking about a lot of concept that really fresh for you. Doesn't matter. You hear that one time, you hear someone else saying that the two time and three times, maybe they having a better way to explain to you so you understand easier, just get yourself more and more into the Buddhism environment, and one day you will understand it with your own understanding. All right. Yeah, so the ignorance is the main reason that why you're suffering because you have the wrong concept. You think that you are real, that's a you there. Like this, you are your body and you never change, you forever. That's why you are so attached to things, like you're so attached to your outlook. I have to look young because this is me. If I don't look great, I lost my value. Or I need to have my money. If I don't have my money, I am nothing. All that kind of attachment is all come from the ignorance because you do not understand that it's no self, no, not forever, don't change you. Everything is conditional. If the condition is there, you become you now. Otherwise, you're not here anymore. It's not about like, oh, you don't need to work hard, right? Of course, you need to work hard because working hard is maybe one of the conditions that how make you successful or to make you how that you want to be. But trying your best doesn't mean that you always get what you want. But you have the responsibility to create as many conditions as possible. But by the end, is that working on that is still a lot of things out of your control. Mm. Another good example is like non-self is um like the kids when they're 3 or 4 years old, when they just starting to talk, but they don't not very good at talking. So they will tell you like last time I say, Matilda. wants something. Let's say she's Matilda, but she will not say, I want something. She will say, Matilda wants something, because as a kid, that young, they don't have a concept as I. The whole world for her is the one, what we are chasing for. That's why kids are so beautiful, because they they don't have that many ignorance as sometimes. They can be emotional. They are very much like an animal. They live in how it's supposed to be, but they don't have the idea like I have to do this. No. So yeah. So once you understand this, then the ignorance is stopped. So that's why we do the meditation, because the meditation is giving you, once you concentrate on here, then you realize that you don't get attached to everything or the subject. When you can only focus on here, and then you expand your consciousness, your awareness to everywhere. So you can see everything working, but you don't attach. You don't trying to operate. You're not trying to judge. You're not trying to get involved into any objects next to you. You just see it and you observe. Or you don't even observe, you just see it. You don't judge. Then you stop all the suffering, because once the ignorance stop, you stop the greed, you stop the hatred, you stop the attachment, then all the karma stops, because now there's nothing to grab, because you see the truth. And again, this is all on the book. If you really need to understand what I'm talking about, I'm not like no ignorance, of course not. But yeah, you need to try to understand. You cannot just read the book and understand. You can meditate, and then you will understand more, and also read more book about ignorance. Then you can understand, oh, this is the philosophy of the Buddhism, why you get ignorance, how you get attachment. Then in the daily life, maybe you can apply to, and you can really understand what that means. All right, so that's for today. I hope that I don't confuse you even more, because the ignorance concept is really deep. We're just touching the surface tonight and giving you an idea